Hello everyone, Amy R here with Prairie Paper and Ink. This is my very last minute submission for last week's Color Throwdown Challenge. I had a bit of a funk after being sick and getting so far behind. You know, life in all aspects took over and I was struggling with ideas and whatnot, and then decided to go back to something that I knew worked and wanted to do again, which was watercolor with Distress Oxide sprays. And I was looking at this stamp set, and this is the set I used the last time I did this, and I was like, I really love these tulip images. So I pulled them out, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do the Color Throwdown Challenge. I already knew I wanted to watercolor the sprays. I knew what stamp set I wanted to use, so to make things easier, went with the Color Throwdown Challenge, even though it's, by the time this gets, goes live, it'll probably be over, but there'll be a new one Wednesday, because there's a new one every week. But I find a lot of times when you're struggling with ideas or just, you just want to create, but there's just too much, it helps a lot of times to, have things kind of set out rather than try and reinvent the wheel or come, especially in my case, trying to come up with something new and exciting and, some amazing way to show this or to use this, etc. Go back to basics or go back to something you enjoy or that you're good at or whatever, and go from there. So that's my little random pep talk. Anyway, I white heat embossed the images onto some distress watercolor paper. And while I usually I'm kind of OCD in that sense where I want to stamp the whole image, whether I cut it down later or not, that's just what I want to do. But I was like, if I turn this piece sideways, because these are the 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch pieces, I was like, if I turn this sideways, I can get about 3 of these stamped, and then I can do a cluster, of these tulips on my card. So that's what I did. So I was using my anti-static powder tool. I was stamping them with clear embossing ink and then using white heat embossing powder and then melting that with my heat tool. So of course, right now it looks like nothing. Very boring, very white on white, doesn't look exciting. But I'm going to start painting these in, and the painting is very, very simple. I will link to the other video I did using this with oxide sprays. And that's what really I was like, ooh, I really enjoy watercoloring with these. It's fun. So I shake them up with all the oxide sprays that you want to shake side to side. Because if you shake them up and down, a lot of times the ink can start coming out the top, around the nozzle and whatnot. So you just shake them side to side to kind of disperse the pigment. And then I just open it up and just tap the nozzle to my palette, which I'm working on my Waffle Flower water media mat because I'm absolutely in love with this thing. And I just started with Abandoned Coral Distress Oxide Spray. That's the only color I'm going to use for these tulips. Although now I'm just like, oh, I want to do this again and do different color. They're tulips. You can do just about any color you want. So I'm just using this though because I am doing this color challenge. So with these, all I do, and I find it works the easiest, is I wet the area first. And because everything's white heat embossed, I can move a little quicker and I don't have to worry about, one area bleeding into another. So I wet it with clean water, and then I just touch my brush to my little blob of oxide spray that I have on my palette, and then I just start painting. Really simple. The color kind of moves. I'll move it around a bit more myself. I have sped this up. It's 600 times faster than it actually took me. It still didn't take that long to do because these are pretty simple images and I'm only doing the one layer. I'm not going to go back and add any other layers. That's something I usually will do with watercoloring, but with these I kind of like having the darker and lighter areas. It kind of made me think of those, ruffly tulips. I don't know I don't know the names of flowers or anything like that. I know the basics, but you know what I mean. Those ruffly tulips that have the white kind of ruffly edges. That's what this was kind of making me think of. So I did that. And then for the stems and the leaves, I am using Mowed Lawn oxide spray and doing the exact same thing. Just getting the whole area wet with clean water and then picking up the oxide spray from my palette with my brush and then just kind of painting it on. Kind of starting putting the darkest of the most concentrated color at the base and then just kind of pulling it up with my brush. I'm not using a fancy brush. I'm just using one of my tonic paint brushes. And that's it. Nothing else. I'm not adding anything to this. I'm not going to do any layers, nothing. I'm just going to paint it on. Then I'm going to let it dry. And then I die cut all of these with the coordinating wafer die. And then I also die cut a piece of craft cardstock with one of the Simon Basic Rectangles dies. And then here I have two different colors of Distress Oxide ink. I have Broken China and Tumbled Glass. This is where you really can tell a difference between oxide inks and just regular distress inks, because the oxide inks will show up on darker cardstock, and I really, really love how they show up on craft. There's just like, look at that. It just sits on top of it in such a nice way. Like these light blues and regular distress ink would not show up on craft. Like they would just basically get the cardstock wet, but you wouldn't get this look. So I'm just blending with my mini ink blending tools, just doing a nice blend, kind of working from the middle and just like letting it kind of fade out, mixing these two colors to get a bit of a blue background. And then while I was doing this, I wasn't originally going to do this, but how can I not resist adding splatter? Because like, look at my splat box. It's just covered. It's everywhere. I'm sure I have it on the walls at this point. I can't help myself. So I used Broken China oxide spray for this as well, because it shows up. Again, it shows up so nicely on darker cardstock. So I kind of heavily splattered that on there and then let it fully, completely dry. I wasn't going to do this. I was actually going to heat emboss the sentiment onto a separate piece of paper, you know, cut it down with a wafer die, all that stuff. But decided instead to stamp the sentiment directly on this background. So I made sure it was completely dry. I just used my anti-static powder tool again, kind of heavily, because I wanted to make sure that the embossed powder doesn't stick to anything. And then I pulled a sentiment from the Delicate Flowers stamp set that I need to use more of. That's another... anything floral. I love the floral sets. What can I say? Florals and me are just, ugh. So, inked up the sentiment with that clear embossing ink again, coated it with the white embossing powder, and then I'm going to melt that with my heat tool. Nice thing is, if I had messed it up, I could have stamped it on a separate piece and just adhered it over top, you know? But it worked, so I was happy. So got that melted. And then I am going to work on the inside of my card. So my card base is a standard A2 sized heavyweight white cardstock. And I'm going to stamp these tulips on the inside using more oxide inks. And this time, the last time I did this, I just inked up the tulips in just one color ink. But this time I'm using the very edge of my ink pads. So I inked up the blooms with Abandoned Coral oxide ink. And then I'm inking up the stems with Mowed Lawn oxide inks. Just kind of holding it. It's hard to show on camera because I'm like getting it more at eye level. But holding things at an angle and using kind of the cord of the ink pad to ink up both colors. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know, I'm not worried. If you really want it perfect, you like mask off areas and do all that, but I'm not going to bother with that. I just inked it up and I was happy with it. And then I got 3 impressions from that one inking because these inks go a long way. So I didn't ink it up a second or third time. I literally just stamped it again, and then stamped it a third time. And then I stamped another sentiment from that Delicate Flower set, this time with that Broken China oxide ink, and then cleaned up my mat with my one of my baby wipes. And now to start assembling my card, I'm going to adhere this craft panel directly onto my card base with some craft tacky glue. And then once I've got that adhered, I'm going to start adhering all of these flowers using some thin 3D foam squares. So I'm just going to pop these up, give them that little bit of dimension. And since they were already trimmed down from how I had stamped them on that original piece, I don't have to do any extra trimming. I'm just going to line up those bottom straight edges with the bottom of the card. So everything just kind of came together and it felt good. It was like, yes, this wasn't my original intent with these. I was actually going to adhere them to the craft layer, trim them down, and then adhere the craft layer to my card. But then realized if I did it this way, it just gives it that little extra something. So adhered all of my flowers to this card base with that foam square, with those foam squares. And then I had to add, you know, some more bling. I have these Studio Caudia. These are the March crystals, and they're just they're literally like the color of Broken China. Really, like it just goes with that distress color perfectly. So I was very heavy-handed with these. I just kind of tucked them in basically everywhere, and I'm just adhering them into place with more of that craft tacky glue. Just picking them up with my jewel picker and then pressing them into place. And then while I was doing this, I remember I have craft envelopes as well. So I pulled out one of my craft envelopes and I'm going to ink up that tulip image again with the same oxide inks, with the Abandoned Coral and Mowed Lawn Distress Oxide ink, and stamp it onto the envelope just to tie it all together. So again, I just kind of ink up the blooms first and then just use like the edges of the Mowed Lawn oxide ink pad to kind of get in there and get the little like stem areas and whatnot. And again, doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to stamp it multiple times. Plus, it just doesn't. And if worst comes to worst and you do something like this and you're not super happy with it, or you like miss spots, whatever, add some splatter. Splatter covers everything, and then it like distracts the eye from wherever you messed up. But I didn't add any splatter to the envelope. I should have. I kind of should have. I might go back and do that later. Now that I'm thinking about it, I should add some blue splatter to the envelope just to finish it all off. So stamp the envelope, and then that finished off my whole little ensemble here. So as always, I'll have a link below the video to my blog post. I'll have a supply list with links to everything. I'll link to the color challenge. There's always a new one every week. So I'll link to that if you guys want to check it out. Thank you all so much for watching, for subscribing, for thumbs upping and commenting on my videos. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all very soon in the next one. Bye.